So I'm regretting making this video. This is a head-to-head State Farm versus Farmers Insurance because I've got some friends that are in either side of these boats and it's a shutout. It's not a complete shutout. There's a little bit that there's some scenarios where one company's better than the other, but let's do this. Let's dive in. The Farmers Insurance versus State Farm. Which company is the best one to go with? Hi, I'm Mark with Think Insurance, and today's video is sponsored. The channel is sponsored, not the video, from Cover. Cover Insurance is a link down in the description below where you can shop multiple companies, and it's likely in this situation with this mind crushing as this video will be, you're likely going to want to check that out. Shop 30 plus companies across a bunch of states. So if you're looking for insurance, that's one of the best options. I would recommend them. So State Farm, just to give you some of their data, they are the largest insurance group in the nation. They have over 16% of the entire market of insurance. It seems small, but with thousands of companies out there, they're huge. They're almost unstoppable when they want to be. And they tend to creep up in prices. So things change. There's a lot of little tactics that they do that some people aren't comfortable with. And so we want to see what options we have with Farmers as a possibility being the other one. State Farm was built in 1922. They have over 19,000 employees, where Farmers isn't the small guy either because they actually control 3 to 4% of the market as well. Now I get it, that's almost a fourth of what State Farm is doing, but Farmers has a pretty good competitive leg in that. There's a reason they have over 10 million customers, and they will show here at the end some of the satisfaction surveys that they have, but over 48,000 Farmers agents. And one of the biggest things I'm going to tell you that I like about them is that they are fully committed to their employees. As far as the agents go, they're all in on the agents. That's one of the things I actually started my career with them, and I disliked it because I wasn't an agent and I couldn't get into that. It was just a mix, right? I was selling insurance on a phone, they were the agents, and I was the guy taking some business away in their own department. But eventually they said, no, we're not gonna make you a pillar as far as your department and your thing. We're gonna do the brick and mortar. And I feel like that might be hurting them in the future, but we'll see. That's another video. So let's dive in and find out what the main difference between State Farm and Farmers Insurance are gonna be. Shout out to Bankrate, and there's another website I'll mention here because I had to dive in a little bit further because it wasn't as accurate as I wanted it to be, but they actually did a really good article where they gave me some data. It came from the Bankrate score, the AM Best, JD Power, the average premium, and all of that. So we're looking at State Farm here and Farmers, where State Farm is ranking according to the overall Bankrate score at a 4.5. And the Farmers, which I think is a wrong score in my opinion, is at a 3.8. Not because I have a personal feeling for them, but when you read the article and go through it, you're going to want to read another article, which I'll mention here in just a moment. The AM Best, which is the stability of the company, how much money do they have available to pay claims, not necessarily if they pay them, but if they have funds, they're stable, employees are okay, all of that. State Farm is an A++, which is pretty much the max. And the Farmers, according to this 2020 report, is A-. So not bad either. A- is actually really good. When you get into the B's, that's when you start to, okay, we need to ramp up and get our scoring up some. JD Power, which a lot of you have mentioned, and you are correct, you can actually buy the review, not the results, but you can buy the review and sponsor. It's kind of like supporting your governor, right? You're supporting your insurance reviewing company. So they're still good with accurate information where they're reviewing the actual company, where they say, okay, you were the best, you were the next, according to customers. And so it's kind of like your Better Business Bureau. They gave an 881 for State Farm and an 872 for Farmers, which is really head-to-head, neck-and-neck awesome. The part where they both start to separate, and there's a couple places where they don't, is the premium. State Farm averages for the minimum coverage about $539 versus $808 for Farmers. So depending on the city and the state and the area that you're in, because there are areas where this is going to flip, okay? So depending on that place that you're in, State Farm is by far going to be less expensive than a Farmer's Insurance. Based on a higher coverage, so you were looking at 100, 300 and above, you're getting the good coverage, full coverage in your car, all of that stuff. State Farm is going to be $1,457 on average, where Farmers is going to be $2,000. So about $400, $500, almost $600 difference between the two. Like I said in the comment below, there's a company I would check, which is Cover. Cover is going to be able to shop up to 30 different companies for you. I actually just did a quote with them recently, and it's pretty cool because I pay about $200 a year for my 2 vehicles full coverage. And I just did a quote with them. I can't show my address, but they got me down to about $126 a month, which is like $50, $60 a month less than I pay today. That's pretty awesome. I'm actually gonna look into it a little bit further because I was playing with another video that I was doing based on mileage, which you guys could probably watch, most likely the video before this. But it was pretty interesting to see how much of a discount that they're giving for being a good driver. And that's starting to play a factor. I would recommend that you guys check out Cover if you're looking for a good alternative option to either of these companies. Credit plays a huge factor, and this is where Farmers starts to try to grab a piece of that business back. State Farm, if you have poor credit, is $3,309-ish per year, where Farmers actually doesn't care as much, which is weird because when I was there was a heavy, heavy rating piece. They really cared about insurance scores. But they're $2,813 for a poor insurance score. So their base model, their product rating, is that Farmers is okay with the lower credit score. If you have an average credit rating, you've got State Farm at $1,656 versus Farmers. They start to creep up a little bit at $1,987. The average person, the good credit, you're $1,457 with State Farm, $2,000 with Farmers, and that's kind of what we saw earlier. And then the excellent credit, $1,126 versus $1,694 per year on average. Keep in mind, I know some of you guys are gonna bash me in the comments for keep saying this, but it depends on the location heavily. So age is another factor that we're gonna play in here. So we've got age 16 State Farm, you're looking about $2,077, Farmers $2,685. So there is a pretty heavy difference there. Age 18 is gonna jump way up on both of them because the first number was based on 16-year-olds staying at home under parents' policy. 18 is somebody off on their own, high-risk driver. There's a million videos that I have out about that. So $4,137 for State Farm, $6,488 for Farmers. Once you hit the age 25, that's really, it starts to make a difference. And incrementally, the years that go by and the more driving history that you have, you're gonna see those prices creep down, and you're gonna see that in just a second. So we've got age 25, $1,694 State Farm, $2,254 for Farmers. 30 and above, $1,494, 2023. 40, $1,457, 2,000. Age 60, $1,327, 1,700. Of course, you're not the perfect driver. Most of us aren't, but if you are, you're going to have $1,457 with State Farm, 2,000. They're seeing the sweet spots where we're talking about, right? Where the average is based off a 40-year-old, has decent coverage, has the perfect driving record, and that's where State Farm is really winning this battle. And where Farmers is trying to come back is maybe not 40-year-old, maybe has a ticket, maybe has a couple things. We're willing to outlook some of that. Well, if you have a speeding ticket, you're $1,590 for State Farm, you're $2,378 for Farmers. An accident at fault is $1,657, $2,647. DUI, $2,201, $2,760. So that jumped down a little bit because once again, Farmers is kind of leaning towards a little bit of that higher risk versus State Farm being more receptive to some of that. So those are the factors that play and that are rated against. There's more than just that. There's the discounts that they do because State Farm may offer a better discount or only a discount that Nationwide or Allstate or anybody doesn't offer. And that would be kind of a winning piece. They're all trying to have their own little niche in product that they have that nobody has. Well, most of the companies have very similar ones, and I actually found one with Farmers that I'm gonna have to do a review on. State Farm does their drive, steer, clear, which we actually did a video on that over here, they do good driver discounts. Those are some of the pros for them. They have a drive safe and save, which is actually the video that we were talking about, where you can do a telematics system. It's not the greatest according to the review. You'll have to watch that, but it's available to you. Farmers comes back and swings back in the boat because they have something called a signal program. And that signal program I need to do more diving into, but essentially they give you 5% off for joining it. It's a telematics, so they're watching your driving history. It got rated really good, so they actually had almost a 5-star ranking on it, which tells me that it's fairly accurate. But they can give 10 or 15% additional off. If you're a younger driver, you can get even more off depending on the situation. There's the little asterisk there that we'll have to dive into further, where you can have different classes that they can take, I'm assuming, or something that gives them that extra kick. The cool part is I actually saw something about how that program gives cash back. So if you're in the top 20% each week or at the end of each month, you're actually gonna get a gift card or a credit. So it's kind of a rewarding system, which I personally like. Farmers offers the 55 and alive, as I call it. It's usually anyone that 50 with most companies, but if you're 55 or older, there's an additional discount for that as well. That's kind of their way of saying, we want your business. You're probably a homeowner, you probably have multiple cars, you probably have a family, want life insurance, all of that. Like, let's give them a discount, get them in the door so that we can help them be over all of their products, umbrella included. Well, as you know, all of us are techies, so we want to make sure that all of the tech is good. We've had a couple reviews where some of these companies we've compared to have not done so well in the tech world. Well, they're both doing good. I'm just going to tell you right up front, and I'll just blast through it. But according to the App Store, State Farm is 4.8 out of 5 stars, where we have 4.8 out of 5 stars for Farmers. Same thing with the Google Store, 4.8 out of 5 stars. Farmers actually passed them and did 4.9 out of 5 stars, and that's a wash in my book. They're both doing good with the apps. Most people like it. It's usually tied to their telematics system, which could hurt or help. And so there's a lot of different revenues or avenues that can go in a negative light. So to see them both almost at a great place, sounds like you're going to be able to get your ID cards, request changes, likely do any claims online. So there's actual connection between the customer and the tech and the company. That's definitely something I like to see, because these companies, as they get older and they start to evolve with the younger generations, they're going to want to have more of that connection with tech. I don't need to call my agent every 2 seconds if I can just look on my phone and see what the answer is. So I also wanted to mention some of this data I did get from US News, because I had to look up a second opinion, because a lot of it is geared towards State Farm. And I don't necessarily want to say the article is in the light of them, because I know from experience working there that yes, in Michigan, Farmers was not so great. And they've evolved lately, so they're actually almost, I would say, probably even better now in Michigan than State Farm has been. You'll have to try it, right? You'll have to do the quote. Otherwise, in states like Florida, it's kind of been the opposite, where Farmers was the best, and now State Farm has started to creep up. And in Texas, same thing. They're all starting to fight those battles. I'm curious to see what your guys' thoughts and experiences have been, because I've seen areas that Farmers has just destroyed the prices. And I've seen areas just down the road that they are 5 times the price. So I can see where this might be a piece where it makes Farmers look a lot worse. By any means, I am not standing up for them, because I did not love some of the stuff they did, and I don't love some of the stuff that either company did. So there's definitely a thought that I have that maybe you guys can finish and let me know if you're seeing the same results. So there you have it. You guys are up to decide at this point which company has been the best. If you've been with either or and you've had good or bad experience, let us know in the comments below. I'm Mark with Think Insurance. I'll see you in the next one.